Hi guys, welcome to Sneak and Show TV, and you are joined today by James Fazzolari, famous Red Mage, and the latest winner of the Australian WMCQ and latest member of the WMCQ team for Australia.
Yeah.
Welcome, James, and congratulations.
Thanks very much for having me, Sam. I'm just doesn't quite seem real yet, but I am super excited to play at the WMC for Australia. So hopefully it goes really well.
Excellent. Off to Nice.
At the start of December. So it'll be cold, but we'll be indoors battling cardboard, so who'll notice?
Yeah, exactly. So, for those who don't know, the latest WMCQ happened for Australia on Sunday.
Yeah.
I suppose it's the same date for every country, but it was in Melbourne, which is the southernmost state or capital city of Australia, and your hometown.
I was able to win the hometown WMCQ. In fact, I think all the WMCQs were won by hometown players this
That's
year.
true, actually.
Funny how that happened.
Yeah, so everyone so far apart in Australia, yet the locals took it home every single time, despite all the travellers.
Yeah.
So what did you play?
To the surprise of absolutely nobody, I played Red, White, Burn, so the same deck I've been playing for 7 months.
Yeah.
I was able to take it out with a very very basic version of the deck. Nothing cute. I would say that a lot of people, including myself, fell into the trap of trying to do clever things to answer problems in the format.
Yep.
And instead of trying to answer problems, I wanted to be the one asking questions. And thankfully, on the weekend, people didn't always have the answer. So
yeah, at least where we're concerned, or at least what information I saw, it seems that it is a format in which you want to be asking questions. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there was a lot of games where you just fall behind, and they just can never catch up. So it felt better being the one in that position rather than the other way around.
Sure. Now, Burn was the first deck I ever saw you play, and we met at GP Melbourne, which was earlier this year. You guys at home may remember it from the coverage. It was on the Wizards website, and Sneak and Show provided the fantastic coverage for that event.
It's good.
Yeah, it was excellent. I watched it at home later on after playing and scrubbing out in the middle of day two. So what's your evolution been with that deck?
Yeah, so I started out as a moto grinder for about 18 months.
Sure.
My first live event was Grand Prix Melbourne with Burn. That deck started out, I was preparing for Grand Prix Melbourne, first live paper event. I'm like, well, really new format. I just want to play the most aggressive, least interactive deck that I can that has relevant decision points. Because I didn't want a goldfish deck, but I wanted it to feel like that for my opponent.
Sure.
And so they printed Boros Charm, and they printed War Leader's Helix, and a bunch of other burn spells, and that was the deck. And we sort of tested it for a bit with me and a few friends on Moto. Through Channel Fireball, I was lucky enough to have Frank Carsten and Patrick Sullivan help with the deck. I was able to just fire them off messages, and they helped tune it a little bit. And I took it to the Grand Prix. It was, I wasn't even that successful at the Grand Prix, but I think because of the Wizards coverage team kept mentioning my name and kept mentioning the deck, there was a lot of interest in the broader community about the deck.
Sure. Obviously, you were playing for Channel Fireball at the event, which is unusual in Australia. We don't normally get the big names down like one Jansky.
Yeah, I wouldn't call myself a big name. But
okay,
sure.
But yeah, obviously it was a bit of a buzz, and there was a little bit of controversy in that event. And
quite a lot of controversy.
To be honest. But what we ended up finding out about you later on is that you just never shuffled cards before.
Yeah,
and that was a big issue for you, and it came up.
It came up more than once. So to the people at home who don't know, maybe not that famously, but maybe more at the time, I was 9-0 on day one, which is great, best possible start. And then going into day two, I had the first feature match of day two. And midway through game three with my opponent dead on board, the judge stops the game and is like, I need to look through your deck. And it turned out that I'd shuffled my sideboard in upside down. So all of the main deck cards are oriented one way, all the sideboard cards oriented the other way.
Sure. And
I'd just done it because this is my second day ever playing Paper Magic. Didn't even think about it. And
exactly.
Ended up getting game lost. We went on board, so we folded 9-1. Went on tilt after that. Lost the next 4 rounds.
Yep.
One, because I was on tilt, and then after you lose 2 in a row, you have to play against the Green Red Monsters deck that was like bringing up the rear and got crushed.
Yep.
And then I got to fall further down to the Green White aggro decks that were further down in the field and prey on those. So I was able to round out at 11-4. But I mean, it was a really, really great first experience for a Grand Prix. And, you know, sitting at table 1 at a 900-player Grand Prix is pretty exciting. So
Yeah, I mean, obviously you still came away with a money finish.
yeah, I came 20th.
20th? So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a pro point or not.
Yeah, 1 pro point.
1 pro point,
One pro point.
Okay. So after that, obviously the next thing for you to get better as a player was to work on your card manipulation skills a bit, and that's where we first met properly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
tell a bit of story about how that came up and you started playing
With
here at
Sneak
Sneak
and
Show,
yeah.
In concert with Channel 5. Or...
Yeah, I would say like I mostly like all my testing. I basically left online play behind, partly because of a new client, partly because you need good testing partners to grow as a Magic player. And I think I've grown tremendously in terms of technical skill, but also maturity as a player in the last 6 months. And that's just from playing with the really, really excellent players at Sneak and Show, you know, 1 or 2 times a week. So in terms of like getting in contact with Sneak and Show, I had done an interview during the Grand Prix coverage to feature my deck at one point, and I'd met a couple of the players, I'd played against them, like Paddy and a few others. Was able to get back in contact with them after the GP, sort of say, look, I just want to get better as a Magic player, Sneak and Show was kind enough to take me in, let me play with them. And I think that the most shocking thing at the start was just how much worse I was than everybody else. I was not like horrendous, but I was much, much worse than almost everybody on the team. And that was really startling at the start because I'd come from being this really dominating online player and like dominating my, my first Grand Prix to just being, like the team whipping boy.
Sure.
But I think that's an important step that everyone has to go through.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a culture shock in a big way for that sort of thing to happen, and I definitely went through it myself when I started testing with. For me, it was Jeremy Neiman and Daniel Unwin, and they just mercilessly crushed me for months. Yeah. And you get better through that.
You really do.
Personally for us, we've worked together on a few decks in the past, including most of Modern Season we spent. And in the end, for the WMCQs, we went out slightly separate ways, both playing a lot of burn spells and a lot of red cards.
I think we definitely agreed that a red deck was the right choice, and I defaulted to burn. I think you picked the better deck. I defaulted to burn because of experience, and I just didn't have time to... Like, you played a really intricate deck. I played a very simple deck because I just didn't have the time to test.
The burn deck, I think, was a very good choice. It was something I would have looked at a little bit harder had I played it before, but for me, red deck wins.
Yeah, and Sam, you did. Sam's been very modest. Sam did top 8 as well, undefeated in the Swiss.
Yeah, but I mean, like without winning, you don't win. So.
Sure.
Anyway, so it was a very successful day for you. I believe you were also undefeated in the Swiss.
Well, I conceded to one of my teammates to scoop him in the top 8.
You conceded to someone without playing, so I think it's fair to say that you're undefeated, and then undefeated through the top 8 as well.
Yeah.
So a completely dominant performance, and Australia would like to welcome you onto the team, and may you crush all your foes and become a powerful wizard on the world stage.
Let's fingers crossed. So we'll see what happens.
Right.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
No worries. It's Sneak and Show TV and our fabulous guest, James Fazzolari. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.